not value what is valueless. I will not value what is valueless. For what is valuable belongs to me. I will not value what is valueless. For what is valuable belongs to me. I will not value what is valueless. Hello, I'm Willie from the Ozarks, and we're ready to study I will not value what is valueless, for what is valuable belongs to me, which is lesson 133 in A Course in Miracles Workbook for Students. We're reading from the original edition here on Saturday, May the 13th of 2023. I will not value what is valueless. Sometimes in teaching there is benefit, particularly after you have gone through what seems theoretical and far from what the student has already learned, to bring him back to practical concerns. This we will do today. We will not speak of lofty, world-encompassing ideas, but dwell instead on benefits to you. You do not ask too much of life, but far too little. When you let your mind be drawn to bodily concerns, to things you buy, to eminence as valued by the world, you ask for sorrow, not for happiness. This course does not attempt to take from you the little that you have. This course does not attempt to take from you the little that you have. It does not try to substitute utopian ideas for satisfactions which the world contains. There are no satisfactions in the world. Today we list the real criteria by which to test all things you think you want. Unless you meet these sound requirements, they are not worth desiring at all, for they can but replace what offers more. The laws which govern choice you cannot make, no more than you can make alternatives from which to choose. The choosing you can do. Indeed, you must. But it is wise to learn the laws you set in motion when you choose, and what alternatives you choose between. We've already stressed there are but two, however many there appear to be: truth and illusion, love and fear. The range is set, and this we cannot change. It would be most ungenerous to you to let alternatives be limitless and thus delay your final choice until you had considered all of them in time and not been brought so clearly to the place where there is but one choice that must be made. So, two choices: truth or illusion, peace or lack of peace, love or fear. Another kindly and related law is that there is no compromise in what your choice must bring. It cannot give you just a little, for there is no in-between. Each choice you make brings everything to you or nothing. Therefore, if you learn the tests by which you can distinguish everything from nothing, you will make the better choice. First, if you choose a thing that will not last forever, what you choose is valueless. A temporary value is without all value. Time can never take away value that is real. Time can never take away a value that is real. What fades and dies was never there and makes no offering to him who chooses it. He is deceived by nothing in a form he thinks he likes. Next, if you choose to take a thing away from someone else, you will have nothing left. Wow, catch that. If you choose to take something away from someone else, you will have nothing left. This is because when you deny his right to everything, you have denied your own. You, therefore, will not recognize the things you really have, denying they are there. You, therefore, will not recognize the things you really have, denying they are there. Who seeks to take away has been deceived by the illusion loss can offer gain. Yet loss must offer loss and nothing more. Your next consideration is the one on which the others rest. Why is the choice you make of value to you? What attracts your mind to it? What purpose does it serve? Here it is easiest of all to be deceived, for what the ego wants, it fails to recognize. Okay, we're talking about our value system again here. It does not even tell the truth as it perceives it. Talking about the ego, here it's the, let's start over. Your next consideration is the one in which the others rest. Why is the choice you make of value to you? What attracts your mind to it? What purpose does it serve? Here it is easiest of all to be deceived, for what the ego wants, it fails to recognize. It does not even tell the truth as it perceives it, for it needs to keep the halo which it uses to protect its goals from tarnish and from rust, that you may see how innocent it is. Yet is its camouflage a thin veneer which could deceive but those who are content to be deceived. Its goals are obvious to anyone who cares to look for them. Here is deception doubled, for the one who is deceived will not perceive that he has merely failed to gain. He will believe that he has served the ego's hidden goals, and though he tries to keep its halo clear within his vision, yet must he perceive its tarnished edges and its rusted core. His ineffectual mistakes appear as sins to him because he looks upon the tarnished as his own, the rust a sign of deep unworthiness within himself. He who would still preserve the ego's goals and serve them as his own makes no mistake according to the dictates of his guide. This guidance teaches it is error to believe that sins are but mistakes, for who would suffer for his sins if this were so? And so we come to the criteria for choice, which is the hardest to believe, because its obviousness is overlaid with many levels of obscurity. If you feel any guilt about your choice, you have allowed the ego's goals to come between the real alternatives, and thus you do not realize there are but two. And the alternative you think you choose seems fearful, and the alternative you think you choose seems fearful and too dangerous to be the nothingness it actually is. All things are valuable or valueless, worthy or not being. All things are valuable or valueless, worthy or not of being sought at all, entirely desirable or not worth the slightest effort to obtain. Choosing is easy just because of this. Complexity is nothing but a screen of smoke which hides the very simple fact that no decision can be difficult. What is the gain to you in learning this? It is far more than merely letting you make choices easily and without pain. Heaven itself is reached by empty hands and open minds, which come with nothing to find everything and claim it as their own. We will attempt to reach this state today, with self-deception laid aside and with an honest willingness to value but the truly valuable and the real, the valuable and the real. Our 2 extended practice periods of 15 minutes will begin with this. I will not value what is valueless, and only what has value do I seek, for only that do I desire to find. And then receive what waits for everyone who reaches unencumbered to the gate of heaven, which swings open as he comes. Should you begin to let yourself collect some needless burdens or believe you see some difficult decisions facing you, be quick to answer with this simple thought: I will not value what is valueless, and what is valuable belongs to me. Okay, well, here's what I will not value what is valueless, for what is valuable belongs to me. Okay, well, let's take a look in our text reading, and we're ready for, in chapter 14, Bringing Illusions to Truth, section 7, the test of truth. The test of truth. As you're turning there, let me tell you about what's going on around the world. American Indian Day, Armed Forces Day, Bereaved Mother's Day, Birth Mother's Day. Saturday before Mother's Day is Birth Mother's Day and Bereaved Mother's Day. Brunch for Lunch Day, Children of Fallen Patriots Day, Cornelia de Lange Syndrome Awareness Day, Cough Drop Day, Frog Jumping Day, IEEE Global Engineering the Future Day, which is the Institute for Electrical and Electronic Engineers, International Hummus Day, for garbanzo beans or chickpeas, which, that's the combination of garbanzo beans, tahini or sesame butter, lemon juice, and garlic. And garbanzo beans, I haven't grown them, but they grow best in the early spring in about all zones 2 through 10, I think I read. So you can grow them, but only in the spring, early spring. They like cool weather and they can tolerate a little shade, but they need about 6 hours of sunlight. Jamestown Day, which was founded by men and boys named after King James on May 13, 1607. Letter Carriers Stamp Out Hunger Food Drive Day. Martin Z. Mollusk Day, which is Ocean City, Maryland's version of Groundhog Day. Martin Z. Mollusk Day. Mother Ocean Day, kind of like Mother Earth Day, but the ocean. National Animal Disaster Preparedness, National Apple Pie Day, National Archery Day, National Babysitters Day, National Dog Moms Day, National Fruit Cocktail Day, National Leprechaun Day, National Miniature Golf Day, National Train Day, Stay Up All Night, Sun Awareness Day, which is the British Associations of Dermatology's annual campaign to raise awareness of skin cancer. Wear a hat in the sun. I know about that one. I didn't know about it when I was a kid, though. Top Gun Day, which is, being the best that you possibly can be in your particular activity. We should be the best we can to overcome the ego. Be Top Gun by following the spirit. Tulip Day. Wish I had a tulip to show you, but I didn't have any in bloom. World Belly Dance Day, World Buckfast Day, which is a Scottish tonic wine mixes alcohol and caffeine, World Cocktail Day, and World Fair Trade Day, which promotes fair trade and the ending of poverty, exploitation, and climate change. So I thought that was some nice things. And I also wanted to tell you a little bit about I'm sitting here in my garden, and in the back you see those bamboo stakes. Those are for pole beans or other things. Those ones there are for tomatoes. Kentucky Wonder pole bean, I wanted to tell you about it. Though in many ways, Kentucky Wonder, the Kentucky Wonder pole bean, I forgot to tell you what the genus and species of. I got these from, they're just the Ferry Morris Kentucky Wonder pole beans. Be sure they make a Kentucky Wonder bush bean, but I like the pole. Grow them up with corn stalks, what I like to do. But I sometimes put them on a little pillar or a little bamboo tripod, and kids can get in there. You can sit in there and meditate in the summer. Though in many ways, Kentucky Wonder pole beans might not have any characteristics that immediately distinguish them from most other pole bean types, that is by no means indicative of a lack of quality. Some of the most treasured things about these famous old-fashioned beans are their size, taste, texture, and overall hardiness. The bean pods grow to be about 8 to 10 inches long, each one smooth with brown seeds. When harvested at the proper time before they reach maturity, Kentucky Wonder pole beans are stringless and carry a rich, distinctly classic green bean flavor. The bean pods also come in vigorous batches when the plants are continuously harvested throughout the year, and they are resistant to rust and are adaptable to many climates. I found that on MinnetonkaOrchards.com. about the Kentucky Wonder pole bean. Okay, now let's take a look at the test for truth. Yet the essential thing is learning that you do not know. Very important. Start our lessons. I do not know I do not know what this means. As our very first lesson, remember back then? Knowledge is power, and all power is of God. You have tried to keep power for yourselves, have lost it. You still have the power, but you have interposed so much between it and your awareness of it that you cannot use it. Everything you have taught yourselves has made your power more and more obscure to you. You know not what it is, nor where. You have made a semblance of power and a show of strength, so pitiful that it must fail you. For power is not a seeming strength, and truth is beyond semblance of any kind. Yet all that stands between you and the power of God in you is but your learning of the false, and your attempts to undo it. 59. Be willing then for all of it to be undone, and be glad that you are not bound to it forever. For you have taught yourselves how to imprison the Son of God, a lesson so unthinkable that only the insane in deepest sleep could even dream of it. Can God learn how not to be God? And can his Son, given all power by him, learn to be powerless? What have you taught yourselves that you can possibly prefer to keep in place of what you have and what you are? 60. Atonement teaches you how to escape forever from everything that you have taught yourselves in the past by showing you only what you are now. Learning has been accomplished before its effects are manifest. Learning is therefore in the past, but its influence determines the present by giving it whatever meaning it holds for you. Your learning gives the present no meaning at all. Nothing you have ever learned can help you understand the present or teach you how to undo the past. Your past is what you have taught yourselves. Let it go. Do not attempt to understand any event or anything or anyone in its light, for the light of darkness by which you try to see can only obscure. Put no confidence at all in darkness to illuminate your understanding, for if you do, you contradict the light and thereby think you see the darkness. Yet darkness cannot be seen, for it is nothing more than a condition in which seeing becomes impossible. You who have not yet brought all the darkness you have taught yourselves unto the light in you can hardly judge the truth and value of this course. Yet God did not abandon you, and so you have another lesson sent from him, already learned for every child of light, by him to whom God gave it. This lesson shines with God's glory, for in it lies his power, which he shares so gladly with his Son. Learn of his happiness, which is yours. But to accomplish this, all your dark lessons must be brought willingly to truth and joyously laid down by hands open to receive, not closed to take. Every dark lesson that you bring to him who teaches light, he will accept from you because you do not want it, and he will gladly exchange each one for the bright lesson he has learned for you. Never believe that any lesson you have learned apart from him means anything. 63. You have one test as sure as God by which to recognize if what you learned is true. If you're wholly free of fear of any kind, and if all those who meet or even think of you share in your perfect peace, then you can be sure that you have learned God's lesson and not yours. Wow, there's so much there. I wish we had time to talk about that sentence. But you're the perceiver, and you can perceive peace in everyone, and you have to in order to be in the kingdom of heaven. So let's read it again. You have one test as sure as God by which to recognize if what you learned is true. If you're wholly free of fear of any kind, and if all those who meet or even think of you share in your perfect peace, then you can be sure that you have learned God's lesson and not yours. Unless all this is true, there are dark lessons in your minds which hurt and hinder you and everyone around you. The absence of perfect peace means but one thing. You think you do not will for God's Son what His Father wills for Him. Every dark lesson teaches this in one form or another, and in each bright lesson with which the Holy Spirit will replace the dark ones you do not accept and hide, teaches you that you will with the Father unto His Son. And each bright lesson with which the Holy Spirit will replace the dark ones, the dark lessons, you do not accept and hide, teaches you that you will with the Father unto His Son. 64. Do not be concerned about how you can learn a lesson so completely different from everything you have taught yourselves. How would you know? Your part is very simple. You need only recognize that everything you learned you do not want. Ask to be taught and do not use experiences to confirm what you have learned. When your peace is threatened or disturbed in any way, say to yourself, I do not know what anything, including this, means, and so I do not know how to respond to it, and I will not use my own past learning as the light to guide me now. By this refusal to attempt to teach yourself what you do not know, the guide whom God has given you will speak to you, and He will take His rightful place in your awareness the instant you abandon it and offer it to Him. Okay, I think we have enough time. I think we'll sing that in our song today. And I also wanted to tell you about another Other Side NDE out on YouTube. After drowning, man finds himself in the queue of afterlife. His name is Philip Roiz, R-O-I-Z. And I'll try to put the link in the description below. Now remember, do 2 15-minute longer practice periods today. And then throughout the day when needed, tell yourself, I will not value what is valueless, for what is valuable belongs to me. And I'd encourage you just to say it, try to remember it every hour. And you know what, I like to listen to what I played last night. I will not value what is valueless, for what is valuable belongs to me. I will not value what is valueless, for what is valuable belongs to me. I will not value what is valueless, and only what has value do I seek, for only that do I desire to find. I will not value what is valueless, for what is valuable belongs to me. I will not value what is valueless. I will not value what is valueless, for what is valuable belongs to me. When your peace is threatened by or disturbed in any way, say to yourself. When your peace is threatened or disturbed in any way, say to yourself, I do not know what anything, including this, means, and I do not know how to respond to it. And I will not use my own past learning to light the way. And I will not use my own past learning as the light to guide me now. And I will not use my own past learning as the light to guide me now. The guide God has given me will speak to me. I will not value what is valueless, for what is valuable belongs to me. I will not value what is valueless, and only what has value do I seek. For only that do I desire to find. I will not value what is valueless, for what is valuable belongs to me. When your peace is threatened or disturbed in any way, say to yourself, I do not know what anything, including this, means, and so do not know how to respond to it. And I will not use my own past learning as the light to guide me now. The God has given me, speak to me. The guide God has given me will speak to me. God has given me a guide that will speak to me. I will not value what is valueless, for what is valuable belongs to me. I will not value what is valueless, for what is valuable belongs to me. I will not value what is valueless. Thank you all so much for joining me out here in my garden today, sitting in between my broccoli, making some little broccoli heads. I can't pull it up and let you see it. And my potatoes. Thank you so much for joining me. I will not value what is valueless, for what is valuable belongs to me. I will not value what is valueless. I will not value what is valueless, for what is valuable belongs to me.